Welcome back to the channel. My name is Todd Jewell, and it is once again already time for another market update. This one for December and year-end 2024. All right, let's go. For this market update, just like all of them, these numbers are for Knox County alone, and they are for single-family residents, not taking into account any just land sales and those types of things. First, let's begin with our days on market. Our days on market at the end of December, yesterday, were 39.3 days. At the end of November, that was 34.3 days. So they grew 5 days over the month of December. Now, you're going to see when we look at these numbers, that does not mean that the market is slowing down or that we've got a lot more inventory sitting there. It just simply means time of year, less people shopping for homes over the holidays. December's an odd month, so you really have to compare that to year over year. What did it say last December? Well, last December, it was 24.5 days on market. What does that mean? It means you're going to have to price your home more appropriately if you're looking to sell a home. And it also means that if you're a buyer, you may possibly not have to make a decision within the first 2 or 3 days that a home hits the market. Now, I'm here to tell you that every number that we have here is very specific to area. I'm doing all of Knox County. So if these homes are sitting out in West Knoxville, if they're in Farragut, days on market for a sellable home are going to be a lot less than that. But we have seen it grow almost 15 days year over year, which is a good sign that we could be somewhat returning to a little bit more of a normal market. So let's look at active listings. That means how many homes in all of Knox County were actively for sale at the end of December, which was yesterday. And that number was 1,269 homes in all of Knox County. In November, that number was 1,438 homes. Yes, that's right. It dropped about 150 to 175 homes from the end of November to the end of December. That's seasonal. We almost always see active listings drop through November to December. How does that compare to last year? Well, last December, we had 1,076 homes on the market. So we're almost 200 homes more in the entire county. So basically about the same. So what about new listings? New listings are how many homes were listed for sale during the month of December. So in the month of December in Knox County, there were 429 homes listed for sale. How many were listed in November? 618. Now, you know, if you're working with us already, I've been telling all of you that we see less homes on the market just about in December, especially the last half that we do at any time of the year. So the numbers reflect that. 618 new homes hit the market in November, dropped to 429 in December. Now, here's a surprise. Year over year, last year in December, we saw 454 homes hit the market. So we actually saw less homes actively listed for sale in December this year than we did last year. So the idea, once again, that we're seeing a lot more homes on the market, people are putting them on, they're harder to sell, that is just not reflective of Knoxville, Tennessee, and Knox County. Also, we just did a video about Knoxville being named one of the top 10 hotbeds for real estate in 2025. You need to check that video out on the channel. It's worth your time. The fact that we saw less new listings is honestly concerning to me. I was hoping that number was continuing to grow because we need more homes, more sellable homes, which we'll talk about. So sold to original list price. In December, homes sold for 96.1% of their original list price, the homes that sold. That was 96.5 in November, not much change. Last year in December, it was 97%, so there may be almost a 1% difference, but it's very small. Absorption rate. Absorption rate is if we had no more new listings starting today, how long is it going to take basically to sell everything on the market? And right now, that is 2.08 months. That's what our absorption rate is. It would be wonderful for buyers if we could see at least 4 months of inventory where you had a little bit more of a selection. We had a little bit more ability to do some negotiating. How does that compare? Well, in November, we had 2.36. So we actually have less inventory as an absorption rate goes based on the rate of sales in December than we did in November. It's dropping. So if we look at last November, remember, you got to look for trends and compare year over year. Last November, there was 1.92, and then it dropped to 1.86 in December. This November, 2.36 dropped to 2.808 in December. So the same trends, that's a seasonal drop, I would say, happens about every year. But what we do see is a little better absorption rate, but nowhere near what we were hoping to see. All these numbers, how do they affect pricing? One of the things about Knox County is because it isn't a huge county, is basically depending on where the sales happened at in the county and what that median sales price is in those areas can really affect our median sales price. Well, in December it was $390,000. That's a fairly significant drop. So we saw a trend starting in September where we went above $400,000 for the first time. September, October, it went 401.5 to up to 409.9. From September to November, and then it dropped to $390,000. Wouldn't read too much into that. We'll see what we see in January and February, and then we'll have a little bit of a trend and get an idea if that was just an odd month or if we are seeing just less expensive homes sell in the market. Last December, it was $365,000. This December, $390,000. That's about a 6.85% year-over-year increase in pricing. Let's talk a little bit about, in summary, what all these numbers mean. Here's what it means. It means that the real estate market in Knoxville is very solid. If you're looking to sell a home here at Knoxville in 2025, it's going to be a really solid year for you to do that. I think you're going to be able to expect another at least 3 to 5% at a minimum in appreciation this year. I really believe that depending on what area you're in, that number could easily be 10 to 15. One of the things I want to point out to you, though, about the price reductions, and that's very, very important. What we see a lot of times is this. We are seeing price reductions come from homes that were originally just listed way over market. And when I say that, I don't mean just a crazy price. What I mean is the price, when you look at it inside of a subdivision or an area, looks fine. If you look at a per square foot price, looks totally fine. The problem is when you go in that home, it needs completely renovated, top to bottom. You go with these homes, there's $100,000 worth of renovation to do, but they're priced just like everything that's sold in the subdivision that didn't need renovations. And so the home sits. It messes up our days on market, those kinds of things. So I do want to point that out. So if you're seeing those reductions, a lot of times that's what you're going to see when we go out and start looking at homes. It's what you're going to see. It's year end. What does 2025 hold for us across the entire country? If you look at the National Association of Realtors, you look at their chief economists, you look at a lot of folks, everyone is saying that the number of transactions this year is going to increase year over year. Now, I'm hoping that's the case because some of you happen to be moving here and you're in markets that's harder to sell in right now. So I'm hoping it's going to help those of you that need to sell before you can move to sell your home. Here in Knoxville, our market's solid. It is only held back, our transactions are only held back by one thing, and that's inventory. If we see more homes listed, we're going to see more homes sold here in Knoxville, Tennessee. If you're looking to buy, I believe with all my heart that you need to do that as soon as you can afford to do so and it makes sense for you. If you haven't reached out to us, you absolutely need to do so. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. If you got a comment, throw that down below and give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Guys, I can't wait to see you here at Knoxville in 2025.